In the world of modern hip-hop, there is music and then there is Travis Scott. If you go to a typical concert, you hear songs. If you go to a Travis Scott show, you survive an atmosphere. He doesn't just perform, he engineers reality. For the better part of a decade, Travis has dismantled the traditional blueprint of a rapper's career. He's moved past the concept of a fan base and built an ecosystem. From the mosh pits of Astroworld to the boardrooms of McDonald's and the halls of Dior, Travis Scott is no longer just an artist, he is a corporate identity. But how does a psychedelic, trap-influenced artist from Missouri City, Texas, become the most valuable brand in music? Was this a calculated takeover or the byproduct of a generation obsessed with the event? Today at Hip Hop History Vault, we are deconstructing the event factory. We're tracking the true timeline of how Travis Scott stopped rapping for a check and started building a corporate kingdom. To understand the brand, you have to understand the foundation. Before the corporate deals, there was pure, unadulterated chaos. In 2013, with the release of Owl Pharaoh and 2014's Days Before Rodeo, Travis established a distinct sonic brand. Dark, distorted, and menacing. Crucially, he understood early on that in the streaming era, exclusivity is currency. He didn't just drop music, he dropped experiences. In 2015, during the release of Rodeo, Travis was already perfecting the event. His concerts were infamous. They weren't passive listening sessions, they were visceral, physical manifestations of his music. He pushed fans to the brink. This was the first phase of the brand identity. The outlaw, by positioning himself as the antithesis of the industry's polished standards, he created a high-intensity, us against the world cult following. This wasn't accidental, it was the creation of a high barrier to entry community. If you were a Travis Scott fan, you were part of something dangerous, exclusive, and raw. By 2016, with Birds and the Trap Sing McKnight, Travis began treating his aesthetic as a product. He wasn't just selling merch, he was launching limited edition capsules. This was the birth of Cactus Jack. If you look closely at Cactus Jack today, you realize it functions less like a rap label and more like Nike. A standard label pushes radio plays. Cactus Jack obsesses over product culture. They've mastered the art of drop culture, creating intense, artificial scarcity that makes fans feel like they're chasing a rare commodity rather than just buying an album or a hoodie. They don't just sign artists, they build a portfolio of aesthetic influence. Cactus Jack has successfully detached its name from the necessity of Travis Scott's own vocals, becoming a standalone entity that thrives on its own corporate identity. When Astroworld dropped in 2018, it wasn't just an album, it was a theme park, and Cactus Jack was the engine. He didn't just announce a tour, he made the brand a destination. By mimicking the corporate machinery of global athletic giants, Travis didn't just become a rapper with a label, he became the CEO of a cultural apparel firm that happens to produce music. If Astroworld proved he could sell an experience, 2020 proved he could sell anything. In September 2020, Travis Scott did what no rapper had done in decades. He partnered with McDonald's for the Travis Scott meal. This was the watershed moment. It signaled to the corporate world that the Travis Scott name carried enough weight to shift consumer behavior in the most mainstream arena possible. He was no longer just for the kids in the mosh pit. He was for the suburban family in the drive-thru. Then he went digital. His Fortnite concert, astronomical, was a historical event. Over 27 million unique players logged in to witness a giant, psychedelic Travis Scott traverse a virtual landscape. This was the pinnacle of the event factory. He transcended physical reality, proving that his brand identity could exist as an immersive, corporate-sponsored digital experience. He wasn't selling records anymore. He was selling entry into a cultural moment. However, building a corporate empire on the foundation of chaos comes with a catastrophic cost.
Some sad news out of Houston. Late this afternoon, Houston authorities confirmed 8 people were killed last night at the music festival in Houston. They're between the ages of 14 to 27. 13 people are in the hospital, the youngest just 10 years old. Police say the surge of concert goers at the Travis Scott concert
The Astroworld Festival tragedy in November 2021 was the grim realization of what happens when the event factory scales without adequate friction. The tragedy, which resulted in 10 deaths and hundreds of injuries, forced a hard pivot. The brand identity had to change overnight. The outlaw branding, which was previously an asset, became a liability. This period forced Travis to navigate the most difficult transition of his career, shifting from a brand based on unchecked, visceral energy to one that needed to demonstrate safety, responsibility, and maturity. His corporate partners, including Nike and various festivals, had to weigh the immense value of his brand against the reputational risk. Travis transitioned into a phase of quiet, calculated rehabilitation. He returned not with the same raw, wild energy of 2015, but with a more curated, controlled, and corporate-approved aesthetic. The brand survived because it was too large to fail, but it emerged fundamentally altered. Travis Scott didn't just grow up, he grew out. He expanded his consciousness from the booth to the boardroom, proving that in the 21st century, a rapper's greatest instrument isn't their voice, it's their ability to control the narrative. He created the blueprint for how to monetize the fan experience. He showed the industry that if you control the event, you control the economy. Travis Scott remains a titan, but his story is a cautionary tale about the true price of total brand dominance. He is, and perhaps always will be, the architect of the event, but we are still learning what it costs to live inside his factory. What do you think? Did Travis Scott's transition into a corporate powerhouse compromise his artistry, or is this just the inevitable evolution of the modern music mogul? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If this breakdown of the industry's biggest players helps you understand the culture, hit that like button and subscribe to Hip Hop History Vault. We're digging deeper every week. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.